Live already. Live already. Yeah. I didn't finish setting it up on the computer. Shul. It's live already. Shul, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You weren't feeling well last week.
I was out with the flu, but I'm feeling good now. Are we on tonight?
Yeah, Mr. Shul.
Yeah, you don't need to prepare because I have something else I need to speak to you about. Okay?
Okay, here you go. Okay. We're for a little surprise today. Hope we're not going to sound too machmir or whatever, but we were talking about yichud, and we were talking about the subject of yichud. So I thought this is a good finale to the shiur on yichud. Next week, there's no shiur. The week after, we're going to start a new, go back to Choshen Mishpat a little bit more. Halachas of Halva, a lot of people want to know is Halva mitzvah tzedakah, is a dina kedima on Halva, bankruptcy, different things like this. So we'll talk about that after winter break and then start a new sugya. But
It's the big shiur that H3 is giving us strong.
yeah, I think so. I think it's a similar topic on that.
Yeah.
So to finish the shiur on yichud, I want to talk about two sugyas that come up in the behavior or the hanhaga between men and women, and it's going to get to offices, it's going to get to other places. It's going to sound pretty extreme, especially the way we are annoying nowadays. But let's learn the Gemara. I want to learn the Gemara because I don't want people to think I'm making stuff up. And then after we learn the Gemara, we can see how it can negel the Maisa. Okay? But the question that I'm going to have at the end of the day is your secretary allowed to make you a coffee? That's the question I want to deal with. One of the questions. You have your secretary make you a coffee, and the other questions are questions about, in general, how to communicate and talk to women. Okay? So let's learn the Gemara. It's a Gemara. It's a Gemara, it's a Shulchan Aruch, and then we'll ask questions. Okay? The Gemara says like this. It's a Gemara Kedushin Daf Ayin and Aleph. I put together two separate Gemaras here on 4 pages. So Amar Lei. So it was in the middle of a conversation that Rav Nachman had with other Amoraim. So Rav Nachman said, Tasi Dunag, my daughter whose name is Dunag, should come. Tashkina, and she should bring us a drink. Amar Lei, so the other Amora, who's Rav Yehuda, said back to Rav Nachman, Hachi Amar Shmuel, we can't do that. Shmuel says in halacha, Ein mishtamshin be'isha. You're not allowed to make use of a woman to serve you. So how could I have your daughter bring me a drink? It's not appropriate. Now, if you look at Rashi, what's the Isser? I underline the Rashi. Ein mishtamshin be'isha. Zok Rashi. It's a lack of tznius on the part of the girl because she's now going to get accustomed to dealing with men, and it's not good for her. Mida, it's not good for her tznius. It's a breach in her tznius to bring a drink to a man. The Rambam says what?
Or not vice versa?
The Rambam says it's a shalom with vice versa. But let's just. I don't want to make stuff up because then
Every restaurant.
and people are going to say making stuff up. I want to say what it says in the Gemara. I want to bring in new things. I want. Okay, we'll talk about that also. So the Rambam says a different reason. The Rambam that I didn't bring, but the Rambam says that the reason is because it develops a korban between the man and the woman, and that relationship is something we try to avoid. So the Gemara says, open Gemara, they're not allowed to have a girl bring you a drink. Says the Gemara, Rav Nachman said that Ketana he, but she's a Ketana. Well, what's the big deal? She's a girl. Ketani. So Doesn't matter. You listen back. The Farish Amar Shmuel Ein Mishtamshim B'Isha Klal Ben G'dolo Ben K'tan. Even if she's a K'tan, it's also. Okay. So Rav Nachman scratched that option. Then Rav Nachman says to Rabbi Yehuda, he heard, I guess, that Rabbi Yehuda was going back to his city. So he said, "Can you send regards to my wife?" Nishad Lemar Shalom Aliyalsa. Can you go, if you're going to go and see my wife, can you send her regards? Amar Leh, how can I send her regards? Hachi Amar Shmuel, Kol B'Isha Erva. We know there's a concept of Kol Isha. And we always think Kol Isha means you're not allowed to hear women singing. Here the Gemara says, Kol B'Isha Erva, even for me to go and say your husband sends regards, she'll probably say thank you. Oh, that's very nice. I don't want to get into a conversation with her, because Kol B'Isha Erva. So Nachman said back, okay, so do it Aydei Shaliach, send someone else into the house. Amalei, I can't do that either. Hachi Amar Shmuel. It's the continuing down the page. Ein Shaliach B'Shlom Isha Al Yidei Bail Ella Al Yidei Bail, even through her husband. Amalei Hachi Amar Shmuel. Ein Shalom B'Shlom Isha Klal. You're not allowed to be shoyal B'Shlom Isha at all. Okay. Why not? Says Rashi, which is on the top left. I underlined it. So it's Rashi of this page on the base. So because now I'm going, if I start sending regards, oh, that guy's interested in how I'm doing. How are you doing? Oh, that man is interested in how I'm doing. That's going to create a chiba between the woman and the man, even if he sends the regards through a shliach. That's what the Gemara says. So the Gemara is teaching us two halachas here that we have to learn how they apply. But let us get clear what the Gemara said.
How is it he's not asking regards, he's saying your husband sends regards.
Right, no, right, it was the other way. You mean, he was saying that when you see your wife, send regards. Correct, I'm sorry. No. He was saying to Rav Nachman,
when you see your
what
own
Rav
wife.
Nachman was saying to Rabbi Yehuda, when you see your wife, tell her that Rav Nachman says hello.
So then why is that Kol B'Isha Erva? It's his wife.
Well,
He's not allowed to talk to his wife?
It's Rav Nachman's wife, what's
that's what I'm, yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Saying to Chida makes sense, but not the.
He's saying that you should. Right, Moshe. I mean, how do you have in both parts over here? Rav Nachman was saying. No. Right. Yeah, what was the case exactly?
Unless he's asking him to find out how she's doing and send it back, so he's, your husband wants to know how you're doing, tell me how you're doing so I could respond to him, so you don't do a shliach.
Right,
So,
then there's a separate Isser in Shalom B'Shalom Isha. So there's two Isser in this Gemara. I don't know how to clarify in the story. You're right. I have a problem understanding in the story. So there's two Isser in this Gemara. There's three things that this Gemara is saying to us. One is Ein Mishtamshim B'Isha Klal. Means it's usher to ask a woman to bring you a drink. The second Isser is that how do you communicate with the Isha? One is you're not Kol B'Isha Eva, so you're not supposed to strike up a conversation with a woman. It's Kol B'Isha Eva, which we're not accustomed to that concept at all. It's a brand new idea because normally Kol B'Isha Eva we assume to mean singing. And second of all, you're not allowed to send regards through a shliach, even if it's the husband. And
even if this is in a professional environment.
okay, so let's see. Like I said, I want to get what the Gemara says, and then we'll see how it applies. So now let's do one thing at a time about the din of Ein Mishtamshim B'Isha. So that would mean a lot of things. That would mean if you're at a Shabbos Suda, the wife cannot serve you a bowl of soup. She serves the plates, the food on the table, that's fine. But she can't serve you a bowl of soup.
Daughter's laughing?
Your own daughter?
No, the daughter's there.
No, the Gemara says even a ketana. So that would be interesting halacha. Number one. Number two is stamazah. You're at someone's house. They serve you a coffee. Number three is what I started off with is a secretary. It's ma'aseh b'chol yom, right? Oh, sir, you want a coffee, whatever, right?
when you go check it on the store and the Cashier is a female.
No, but that,
Right.
hold on.
Restaurant.
Okay,
No, wait,
okay,
wait.
so that doesn't say in the Gemara. It
But
doesn't
it
say-
says English time should be each call.
Right, but it's talking, but it says here, the example given is a drink.
Okay, so but the example is given. Klal is klal. I mean,
Okay, so that already, so
So
let's
food
figure
is
out,
fine
so
to the
let's
example
break
you
it
pick.
down. Which malachas are we talking about? Like you're saying, anything and everything, so then you can't have a cleaning lady?
I mean, he's the
You
next
can't-
line is that he can't say anything to a woman because he's not here of wars. So there's obviously we're talking about extremes there. This is not necessarily what we paskin like
Okay.
or what's stopped.
Okay,
I mean,
so-
clearly
Not
Rav
sure
Nachman
yet.
didn't hold like this
Not
because
sure what we passed like.
Right, this is,
clearly Rav Nachman didn't paskin this way because he's telling him send regards to my wife and he's like, no, I can't fuck you.
The
I'm
Gemara brings Shul.
Why is that? Okay,
And the Gemara brings Shul later on in the Sech, the Pei Aleph, the same thing. But the Gemara over there was an interesting story. Basically, the Gemara over there was that he also sold from Shtamshim B'Isha, and he said Hakol Hashem Shemayim, meaning that I'm not thinking about her at all in Chiba. It's very practical. And if you're just, it's very practical. It's what the Tosfos says it's the last piece of the Gemara. Beis Amud Aleph, Hakol Hashem Shemayim B'Azman U'Sein K'Mahash B'Shalom Mishtamshim B'Nashim. Tosfos seems to say this halach is not in practice so much because we're very much just focused on coffee, not on the woman. So therefore, it's not about that. That's what Tosfos seems to say. However, let's look in the Shulchan Aruch, the next page, and then we'll go back to the Gemara. These are the two halachas. Shulchan Aruch. Siman Chav Aleph and Eben Ezer. Sif Hey. You see where I underlined it? Sif Hey. Also, lehishtamesh b'isha chal. So it's paskin in the Shulchan Aruch. You're not allowed to mishtamesh b'isha. Bein migdol bein ketana. Whether she's a grown up or a child, bein shifcha bein mishukreres. Sounds like even if she's a shifcha. Shema yaboy lidei hirer aveira. Because this brings them together and it's some sort of hirer there. Now look Rashi's reason that's chinuch on the girl. Now be'ezeh shimush amr. This is your question. Be'ezeh shimush amr. What are we talking about? So the Gemara says, "Berachitzas panav yod bragna." She can't prepare you a shower. Afilu litzek lemayim luchas panav yod. Afilu einan a gazboy. Hatzas hamitash to make your bed. So these three things are things that are considered very personal. Since they're considered very personal, so that's what we ask. So here's very clearly already a limitation on the Gemara, that it's only on things which are very personal, which these things, if anyone learns Hilchos Nida ever, these categories also what the Harchakas that an Ishtay Nida is not supposed to do for her husband, because they're considered to be an act of korba. It's not stam washing the dishes, which is an act of shifrus. So something which is considered to be the klal that will come out from this is something which is considered to just be a service, then it's mutter. But something which is considered to be personal, that's also. Now, what is mizikas hakos? What does that mean?
how do we go from klal to that? Like,
What?
How does he explain the word klal then? What does that mean? Like,
I guess it means in this area. I don't know exactly. I hear your point, but that's what we passed
it
it.
sounds like also he's arguing with Rashi on this because
He is, because Rashi had a different reason.
right. So like all those that would have nothing to do with.
I mean, Rashi said that in the reason, it's awesome. Rashi said the reason is because it's not good sneeze for the girl.
Which wouldn't be irrelevant if it's something that's been covered.
Could be.
Making the
Right.
bed, the lady doesn't know exactly which bed who sleeps in, so
Right, so if it's Ishtay Nidas, an understanding is she's like, oh, so even that, it's making the bed in the regular way, or is it like doing it in the way that he likes it, fluffing the pillow, face, whatever, something specific for him? So, that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to leave those two aside, but I want to focus on the Mezigas HaKois, which is serving the food, which seems to be the most common problem. Because, like you said, normally you don't have a random lady making your bed. Teretz is who's doing it? The cleaning lady. So if it's not your wife. So the cleaning lady is just doing because it's her job. It's not, she's hired to do it. It's not a chiba thing. She's not doing it for you.
When we say cleanly is legal gospel when it comes to yichud.
Yes, that is true.
And she
So
wants to make you happy because
it
you
could be
pay
that
her
she
bills.
shouldn't do it in front of him in Echanami. But as far as Mezigas HaKois, what does Mezigas HaKois mean? So there's different opinions on this. Some say that just pouring a drink and bringing it is not Mezigas HaKois when it comes to Ishtay Nida. And so unfortunately, I'm going to say that people were more modern. That anything, bringing a drink to a person, should be included in this Indian of Mezigas HaKois. So according to that, it would be usher to have someone a woman bring a person a drink. Now, I really have a good way out of this one. Because that's what it says here. Pretty
I'm
explicit.
talking about wine.
No. Now, even if you would say pouring a Coke or pouring water, bringing a cup of water is not Mezikas HaKos, because you're not preparing a drink. There's no chiba in that. I can do it myself, right? But preparing a coffee, everyone says is Mezikas HaKos. Because it's personal, everyone likes their coffee different. I know you like it like this, 2 sugars, 1 sugar, 1 sweet, a little milk, creamer. So there's a whole system in how you like your coffee. It's a personal thing, and I'm bringing it to you the way you like it, sir. So then that is already considered shtamshus b'isha. That would be usher.
Because we
According to the simple, so far the reading of Shulchan
probably going to Starbucks also.
What?
You're probably going to Starbucks.
Yeah, but he said
Or
not excluding the service, right?
Right.
No, Starbucks, they don't care
They don't-
because they're doing
Right.
it for 1,000 people. But the secretary will care more than
Yeah.
than the
It's not,
Starbucks.
Starbucks, I believe is different. They're not really serving it to you. They're putting it down, you're taking it yourself. You're ordering it, you're going to the counter to pick it up. They're not bringing it to you. It's different in general. That's already my shiftless valma. They're paid to do that thing. The question is the secretary paid to make you a coffee? Or, no, that's not her job, right? Her job is something else, but to be more efficient and to be there to cover all, it's extra. That's the issue here. So, okay, so, and for that matter, what about...
Why is it extra? The secretary is supposed to take care of,
Is it? Okay, so it's that's the question. Is that part of her salary? Is that what you paid for? This safer,
It's pretty mana Lafrenia slightly to say that because she's getting paid for it, therefore it's not, karva. That's adram in a way. She's not. If she has no reason to do it, she's just doing them a favor. Okay, so I'm doing you a favor. But if I want to make you happy because I want you to give me a raise and I want you to keep me employed, I'm gonna make sure to do it the way it's supposed to be done. That's.
You're talking about Starbucks now? Or
No, I'm saying
The
you're employed.
wants to ingratiate
She-
herself, so
if-
she
if
goes
I-
above and beyond,
Right.
so she gets a raise, if she
That's
gets
what I'm
a
saying,
job.
exactly.
So if
But
she's
it's not
hired
like
to give you
$20
coffee, it would be worse. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, it's a man hires a woman in his office to make him happy. Like that would be the worst thing in the world.
Right,
Do everything to make
if
you
have
happy.
a chef,
What?
you have a chef that's there to make the food and they happen to bring it out. I don't know why a restaurant is not this. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's very different.
Especially if there's tips.
Because there's no cashier between you and the waiter.
Clearly, you don't go to restaurants. So of course there is. Not the chef, the waitress. She's trying to get you to like her. She's doing what, like I mentioned last time, is that she's dressed inappropriately, specifically for this reason.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm not here. Okay. Well, the question. Let's start with something. Let's start the case at home. What about the case at home? You're at home and your wife wants to serve your guest a coffee. So, L'maisa should be aser. There is a famous Aruch HaShulchan that the Aruch HaShulchan says like this. He says, "Ein l'tmoya." אין לתמוה על המיניק שנהגו בכל תפוצות ישראל, כשבואים אורחים לבית בעל הבית, ואיש הבעל הבית מכבדם, the isha is giving them drinks. מאכילה ומשקה ומזגס המקויס, והרי אין משתמשים באישה. The strict Aruch on this question, that there's a specific Shulchan Aruch, אין משתמשים באישה, and yet the woman of the house brings the drinks, the soup, the food to the people. So he says it's not a problem. Why? שהרי היא משמשת לפניו, אלא אפילו אין, כיוון שאיננו עושה דרך שימוש הסקרבוס. She's not doing it to get close to the people, she doesn't care. אלא בני חמאס זורחים. It's just for the people in her house, she can't have people there hungry. מפני שעליה מותו, כל צורך הבית, it's her responsibility to make sure the people in the house are fed. אין יסר בדבר, וכן באכסניה, כשבעל האכסניה מזגס כוסוס לאורחים, אין זה דרך שימוש הסקרבוס, אלא דרך שירוס. It's a service. So the Chashog is mechadish, and if it's a service, then it's mutter, and a service of Achmasas Orchim, or a service of Starbucks, when you're coming to my place, so now it's my responsibility to get you your drink out, I'm just doing my chiyuv. And I'm not there to create a hiskaris.
It's Achnas Orchim, but if you're inviting Shabbos guests over, it's more than...
It's there to make them comfortable, whatever, right. I hear. his line is derech shiurs, when it's just there to get functionality. I heard a story.
So why the
That
Gemara? So the Gemara, when they asked
The Gemara was anyone could bring it. Rav Nachman himself could go up and get it. So he's going to say the daughter should come.
So why is the daughter?
It's not that maybe the daughter's worse than the Balbasta. That's what you're saying. That's according to the Orcha Shulchan Sar. Because it's her achrayas. This she's not her achrayas.
And in that case, even it's sure because they're like covered her, the gadol and this and that you want to be mechabed in, and even that it would be inappropriate to show.
But it so that works well for the wife. So if your daughter's so your daughter's serving at the house.
The daughters work for the wife, for her staff.
You think that's why in the Gemara he said it was usher because it was his daughter?
What?
You think that's why in the Gemara it was usher because it was dafka because it was his
I
daughter?
don't know. He asked me how the Orcha Shulchan in the Gemara. Oh, so this guy asked this question. So so the Shiva Levi asked the question. Oh, you're probably like the Shiva Levi. Because you're base measures.
Okay.
Shiva Levi, he asked this question. So, there's not a clear answer. It's not clear what the Orcha Shulchan is saying here. But you're right, it's a very good question. I don't know. I heard a story once that Ramesha Sternbach's mother walked in once in a, I'm just trying to make sure that makes sense. He's almost 100 years old. And this was talking a while ago. And his mother was also about 100 years old, so. And so there was a meeting amongst Rabbanim, and she walks in, and she had an opinion about it. Apparently she was listening to the meeting, and she had an opinion. So she said her opinion, and she said, plus, you all may have learned Reb Chaim Soloveitchik's Torah, but I served him a coffee. I served Reb Chaim a coffee, so I'm a higher level than you anyway. So I was taking out of that story. No, but the Arhatem anyway, to serve her coffee. There is a way to do it where, just like the Ishtanida, if you remember from Milchus Nida, that the way that, let's say, she could serve it, but if she's a Nida, she could serve it with her, let's say, put the plate of soup with her left hand, or put it there, and then he has to take it. So, in a way, that's a very simple solution to this Isser, is to do it with a Shinui. If it does it with a shinoi, then the char that's mutter, because that's brought down. So, if she's told, so in your house scenario, you could say that. You could say, look, serve the guests with the shinoi. So, put it down, and the person will take the bowl of soup. And nowadays, we don't usually serve so much plated food to the people. Usually, we're just serving on the table. So,
yeah, but the soup is.
It's going to get to the soup.
Yeah.
So the soup, you don't have to put it right in front of the person. Maybe you can put it next to them, and they take it, whatever. That's not proper etiquette.
Yes.
So yeah.
It works well in when the wife
Five
is in need
towns
not to.
operates differently,
What is it?
5 towns they operate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The proper etiquette's gotta be.
I'm European. I'm not the.
Right. But like I said, I wanted to read this inside because it's mechudesh the galachs people are not aware of. But I don't really have a good head for the secretary constantly serving coffee, unless maybe she should do this. She should bring with a shinui, and not put her in front of him. Bring the coffee to the room, and he has to go get it himself. So it's a little bit of a rechuk where it's not the full, service that's being done.
Well, he can say, put it over there.
Right?
Just put it down on my desk.
Huh?
If he says it's okay, just put it down and by that on my
And not
desk.
in a place that it's normally he would drink it. It's over there, so you almost have to get up and see to get it. Or
I think an executive secretary in many higher end offices, their job is to make sure that the meetings or whatever shows up to the meetings are being taken care of
so,
and attended to.
in a situation where
So it's the boss and another female, or whatever it is in that meeting, their job is to make sure that meeting is attended to. So it's not per se that they're doing for that individual.
Right, so
They're
if
doing
you
it
come
for
to a
the
meeting and you're
executive
doing it
office.
for a bunch of people and you bring a tray of 5 coffees down and you put, in a hanami, I don't know if that's a problem. I'm focusing more on the attending to the need of the boss himself.
So what about when you're flying and a flight attendant? So
That's her job.
I think it's a
And
job
she's
situation.
offering to everyone that she's
Right.
not customizing
Right.
either.
I think it's just, I think when your job is, a waitress, it's a good question about the waitress, but I didn't
what does
see
it make a
one-
difference if it's a job or not? It's the same.
No, because if it's a job then it's called a Maisa of Shiur, it's not a Maisa of Korah.
She's getting paid no matter what to do
And not
it.
by you, right? She's
Yeah.
getting paid by a third party for this. So she wants to make sure she's doing a good job, but that's not.
So
Nowadays-
the option would be is whether or not you put in the job description for
Now-
your executive assistant that her job is to bring you coffee. If you don't have that in there, then it's a problem. Because
Yeah.
then she's doing it on her own initiative, and that creates shilohs.
Right. So
If
here,
it's
I'll read
her
you what it
job-
says here. It says Bal company katan shiroi tzalahaskim askira. By the way, on this issue, ishtam shus isha, in this sefer, he has like 40 pages on this thing itself. It's wild.
The restaurants nowadays is easier because it's standard service fee. So it used to be depending how they
They're still
service
trying to
you.
get an extra tip.
Well, they ask you 18, 10, 15. 20.
No, it's
No,
already-
it's after. It's already included.
It's already included. Most restaurants it's already included. So it used to be
Well,
like depending how you
They're
were
still
serviced,
asking for
then
an
you
extra,
gave
they
extra.
still want an extra tip
Now
on
it's
top of that.
automatic 18%.
They
already.
still want an extra tip on top of that. A lot of people do that. They're still trying to. They're still doing that. That's not. You go to
Okay,
any restaurant.
it was
they're
on me.
trying
He
to.
says the fairs here. Kamoike muto l'maltzarit, which is a waitress. Lahadish l'fen ish b'mesada v'chein l'dayeles. Dayelet is a stewardess at an airplane. Lahadish l'fen ish b'matois. It's mutter, or if a person's in the hospital, for the nurse to bring it. So it's mutter because, again, they're shiurus, ba'alma. It's not for korva. It's there to service the person. But a secretary, which is there to make you comfortable and
It's your job also technically. I mean.
Again, that's a question.
The job
Is it-
description. It depends who you put in there.
Here he says, I don't know where he gets this from, but since that's not, her job is everything else she does. So this is definitely considered to be extra. But in the case of the waitress, her job is bring you food. That's the job. By this plane, the job is bring you food. So therefore, the bringing of the food is a key of her job. Here, the job is everything else. Since it's everything else, then this is always going to be considered extra. He says it's considered extra even if it's in the original agreement. But that's his chiddush. I don't know where we got that from necessarily. But, anyway, it's important to keep this in mind. My point is to raise the awareness of this halacha, to open halacha and Shulchan Aruch, how exactly it works out. The Aruch Shulchan is definitely much more lenient. And he says that basically, these things which are the derech is mutter. Let's go to the other halacha that we mentioned. The other halacha is how is the proper way to be shoyel b'shloim isha. So again, look in Shulchan Aruch, the next page, last page of these 3 pages that I have here. So it says, Sifvot, Ein shoyelin b'shloim isha klal, afil aydei shliach, afil aydei bayla. You cannot send to ask ask b'shloim isha at all, because then the woman thinks that you care about her, and you care about her well-being, and that's creating a relationship. Also, the shloach divrei shloimim. Well, let's say you're not asking how she's doing; you just send regards. That you shouldn't do either, but that you're allowed to do through the husband. So if you speak to a husband, you could say send regards to your wife. That's mutter, because that's not creating anything, and there's a hefsek with the husband. But if you start getting intricate about, oh, she just, how's this, how's that, whatever, that could be a problem even through the husband. Now, the ad kedei, so that's what it says. Anything else here? No, that's what it says. So, would this raise an issue of any sort of inquiring as to the well-being of a female? Basically. So how does that work? So first of all, what about greeting someone? So theoretically, our greetings and everything like that is not, the poskim are a little bit more lenient to that. Because here it says, shoyelin b'shloim isha, or what's the other lashon? Besides shoyelin b'shloim isha, is l'shlech or divrei shloimim. So but if you just say hello, you're just acknowledging they just came in the room. It's not saying anything. Giving a bracha, good Shabbos, Mazel Tov, these things is not engaging in any sort of shalom.
Saying
But-
how are you?
Even you pick up the phone, hi, how are you? Okay, you didn't wait to the answer. You don't really care. It's just a way of saying it.
Proper etiquette.
Hi, you know,
Are
yeah.
you saying
hi,
that back then
how-
they
how-
cared or
I
no?
hope,
Just
well, it's not. It's just
that-
You hope they're not responding.
right.
right. But the reason why you do that is because it's being polite, which is a courtesy.
It's courtesy. It's not chiba. It's not trying
It's so
to
we
really
don't think
engender
about
our
it.
relationship.
It's just automatic.
Yeah,
You just start the email, it's automatic to put right.
Right. Hi, hope all's well. Next, like that. So it's just like that. But if you do go beyond that, it seems to be that it's somewhat of a shaila. If the person is expecting it, or they're getting insulted, or whatever,
Why is the fact that they're getting insulted okay?
I don't know. He says isha shishalom b'shalom isha, because then you're only doing it to avoid her getting insulted, but not because not necessarily because you care, and she may not even think
So
that.
how far can you do that?
Because I don't know. But
So I think these days we work also in a professional environment where many times if one's interacting with females that are within their business frame, one may say something more than, oh, hi, how are you? Or in regards to what's his name, because of a referral or things of that nature.
right, but what about getting personal? So let's
No,
say.
obviously that's,
So
obviously.
once you get personal, that's what we're talking about. So that let's say, they went through something just now. So you say, hope all's well, hope that the recovery or whatever, it goes easy, whatever. Once you start saying, how was it, what was the experience, getting too detailed into it is what we're talking about. It sounds like
You're a
it's better to
company
avoid that.
and a female is the executive of of some other company that you deal with. And she just had surgery. Is your company not allowed to send her a basket and say, get well soon?
No, that's corporate level. But you
That's what I'm
yourself, when you
Where does
call
the corporate-
when you call to find out, you want to get into your next deal or your next thing. So you say, oh, hope you're feeling better. No, okay, right there. But if you spend a half hour discussing all the details of the surgery and how it was and how was the recovery and this was hurting
He
me.
was telling me as an example, he gave a kidney to a woman, and then you got together afterwards.
It's interesting, right? Okay, but you're
I'm sorry.
right.
She's really part of me now.
Keep me because of this.
He has to go to
A lot of
mikveh. He has to go to
times
mikveh every month.
What?
He has to go to mikveh every month.
You're doing it a lot of times. The boss is proper etiquette. That there would be a feeling like my
I
boss
think-
doesn't.
I
My
think-
boss
I
doesn't
think
care.
the point of being insulted is if it's because then it turns into proper etiquette now. It just raises the bar of etiquette. But once it gets into the level of personal,
Well, I mean, unless they're insulted because you're not being friendly with me.
no. So
So that's
right. So that's not. So you have to draw the line. He says here. He says here, it's a pretty machmir on these things. It says, Isha shishalom b'shalom ish, im hu ba'ofen sheyesh chashash. Shim lo ya'aneh lav. He's not going to interact with her. She's getting insulted. Mutar lanas lav b'koved roish. Do it seriously. Be able to say what she's expecting, the minimum, and then invite. So don't engage further. So this is a very also negedika halacha. Like I said, it seems to be a halacha here. Besides the kol b'she'er that we said before. By the way, that even though the Gemara over there said, just to explain, the Gemara over there said that you can't talk directly because it's kol b'she'er. The Rashba says the kol b'she'er there. Avada normally kol b'she'er is only singing, but here the reason it's nogea is because it's a conversation which is getting personal. So therefore it's hanuach. It's the same issue as having a direct personal conversation. So how are we making these halachas nowadays? I don't know, because nowadays everything, like Zami saying, everything, you have to kind of.
Context.
You have to smear up sometimes your customers who are female as well, so.
Right, the question is.
Even though it's a corporate level,
does
but at the same time-
does it cross into the personal?
everything nowadays is personal.
It's all business.
That's part of marketing.
Sales is personal.
Right.
He's getting personal.
Exactly correct.
You're not
But-
buying
but-
a car,
but
You're
you're buying-
sending them a birthday
You're
present.
getting personal because of business. It's all.
No,
about
Okay,
No,
fine.
so-
Okay,
so-
so where does that go? So
yeah, I don't know.
was that also for business? Like,
I'm not sure how personal you can get.
You send them birthday, whatever, cards or, from your company, whatever.
I think company to company is totally different. Even though they know.
If you are the company,
Right, but still, they understand
But
it.
things are not personal.
Well,
Birthday cards are not personal. Nowadays. The amount of
Absolutely.
messages on LinkedIn I got that I don't even use LinkedIn from people wishing me happy birthday.
Those are
And I don't even know who they are. It's not personal
right,
anymore.
right. Everyone knows that the clients
People
are,
in China.
you know, they're just, you know. But I think I can't say more than the Gemara, the halacha. Like I said, I want to learn the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch inside. How it applies, everyone has to figure
Maybe
out.
I'm-
I don't understand what the Kol B'Isha everything. So what does that mean? He only said it because it would be
Because
usher
it's
anyway, so
Kol-
therefore you're not allowed.
Yeah, he was trying to say it's Kol Isha Erva, is that the Kol of the Isha has a koach when the subject of the conversation, besides singing, which in and of itself is
He's like, when it's usher to talk to her about this, now it's a Isser,
So-
so why don't you just say it's usher to talk to her about this? Which is what he
What
did.
he's saying. He's basically saying I can't have this conversation because talking about a personal thing makes that now the call is us. Raise the awareness over here because we were learning Yichud. This comes into it, and we'll go to a little bit more. I'm sure subjects will make everyone less uncomfortable when we come back into the show. But,
I said it's very normal and comfortable. We all have female